First of all, rest in peace to Double K of People Under the Stairs. That's the main reason why I made this video. The music from People Under the Stairs will always have a special place in my heart. It definitely represents a time in my life that brings back a lot of good memories. For anyone that's unfamiliar with People Under the Stairs, their music is sample based. It's a lot of jazz, a lot of funk, some soul, some reggae. If I could describe the sound of People Under the Stairs, it would be a mixture of A Tribe Called Quest, like that boom bap, that golden era of hip hop, and a little bit of Far Side for that carefree party music, just like that humorous, laid back appeal. The music from People Under the Stairs can be best described as a kickback summer barbecue. It's got that feeling of good vibes. The content of their music is smoking, it's drinking, having a good time, collecting records, it's making beats, loving hip hop, eating food, video games. People Under the Stairs is made up of Thes1 and Double K. Thes1 is known to do more of the recording and mixing. Double K does a lot of the scratching on the records. What prompted me to make this video was the death of Double K, but it also brought back memories of the first and last time that I saw People Under the Stairs live. It was at a venue in Phoenix, Arizona called the Crescent Ballroom. It was the day after New Year's. I believe it was January 2nd, 2016.
Here's what happened, man. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what the fuck happened. We had a show last night in Denver, right? And we have a show tomorrow night in Salt Lake City. And they were like, why don't you guys just take the night off? We're like, how about we fucking get on a Southwest flight and we just scoop through that motherfucker? Now, hold on. This is real talk. And the booking agent and our promoter and everyone was kind of like, well, it's the night after New Year's. I don't know if anyone's gonna fucking come out tonight. Make some fucking noise! Happy fucking New Year's, everybody. How's y'all 2016 going, man?
Let's turn this volume all the way up. I want to hear the beat. I want to hear the beat. I want to hear the beat.
We got you. There it goes.
After 2009's Carried Away album, I didn't follow People Under the Stairs as much as I used to back in their earlier days. Carried Away is probably their most successful album. They came out with Trippin' at the Disco, which was a big song.
All of y'all tripping, everybody tripping, we be tripping
At the disco.
Yo, hold up, man. We get way too fucked up here around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, check this out. My name is DJ Double K. It's my homie, guess what? We are making the song. Have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun, y'all. My sick tank, are you with me? Jump around the floor with this zone. Everything's so trippin' at the disco. Everything's so trippin' at the disco. My sick tank, are you with me? Jump around the floor with this zone. Everything's so trippin' at the disco. Everything's so trippin' at the disco.
But their whole catalog is vast. There's so much good music in there. But I primarily wanted to talk about the Ohm years, which is their first 4 albums, which had the most impact in my life. A friend of mine had let me borrow Question in the Form of an Answer, and that was a solid album. We'll Be There is my favorite joint off of Question in the Form of Answer.
Every time it's screaming cry, what we doing all day night. Qualify, rectify, rock it to the daily time. Every time it's screaming cry, what we doing all day night. Qualify, rectify, rock it to the daily time. Every time it's screaming cry, what we doing all day night. Qualify, qualified. Phoenix, Arizona, check it out. Hey yo, check it out. People, I'm so glad you're here. I want my people in the front, my people in the rear. Make know when your troubles, grab a chair and cool out. Turn up the radio, light up the blunt and crack the kid and style.
Yo, Mike, you ain't drinking that shit.
But it rising, I'm gonna keep going, flowing like the river, young niggas. Since 1987, I've been putting the work like a single mother serving suckers and making them church. So big fluid when I do it, everybody say, oh, because we need the other hood and already approved. Smoking up the fat grams, I slam like Big Show.
Another banger is July 3rd, Blowing Wax, Youth Explosion, E-Business. Like, that was a great introduction to People Under the Stairs. I grew up in the golden age of hip hop, so that was the sound that I cherished the most. And People Under the Stairs really took that sound and ran with it. Question in the Form and Answer got plenty of rotations for me, so it actually made me go back in the catalog and dig up their first album, The Next Step. The Next Step is actually what turned me into a People Under the Stairs fan. One of their biggest songs of all time has got to be San Francisco Nights. Probably that summer in high school, I bumped San Francisco Nights constantly. My older brother lived in San Francisco, and I would go visit him almost every summer. I would spend a couple weeks in San Francisco each time. Like, everyone I ever met in San Francisco was genuinely nice. There was so much culture in San Francisco. There was a big Filipino community. There was a big DJ community, a big hip hop community. I always felt welcome going to visit my older brother in San Francisco. Visiting San Francisco so many times definitely made me appreciate San Francisco Nights more.
Walls move, minds do too. On a warm San Francisco night. Oh, child, they feel alright. On a warm San Francisco night. Then we made it hip hop like this.
Oh, shit. Hey, guess what? What the fuck is this right here, my G?
It's a motherfucking jumper!
Check it out, it goes, well, like the back of the back, it goes, running from the front to the back, it goes, it goes, well, like the back of the like that, so, on the wall, San Francisco, like that, I like that, so, on the wall, San Francisco, sing with everybody up, on the wall, yo, stick up, on the wall, why don't you talk away down? You know the poor and the soul and the soul and the first night. Oh, baby, yo, and help out for the baby. It's raining, trying to find money, trying to stay. Yo, we made it out. Walk on beats, keep it up to the streets. Yo, you skip at the sound, cause nothing so bad sound. We run around like sheets over these streets. They just hands so hard that you'll see these skills. Taking out, make sure that never happens again. I drop my grip on it. Turning up the right thing, right hand. Who's like a brother from the land already in hell? By me, singing through the day, all city like a layer. You see my name on one president, the Green Taylor. The people international, like what? Guess what? Like a sailor, I can drink it from the toes to the beat. If I'm paying to the thing, I can be in the beat. It's like a trust, what a trust, it's just like we don't know. We doing shows in San Francisco. And that's right, young brother, got it for all the riders. I know it's another trying to get rid of the whack. Put them in the back with the other diamonds and shit. Hard and they go collies to all these old folks. Grab the collies and they take the break.
Another banger off of The Next Step is Time to Rock Our Shit. Like, that song still gets me hyped. And it's been over 20 years since that first came out. Of course, Dare, Death of a Salesman are great songs off of The Next Step. Their final album out of the Ohm years was Or Stay Tuned, which is their shortest album, but it had so many good songs on there. Yield was one hell of an album opener. It used the same sample as Artifacts, Wrong Side of the Tracks. I believe they sampled Ninth Creation's Bubblegum, and I just love that loop. Fly Love Song was another banger off there, Plunkin' 'Em. And of course, my favorite People Under the Stairs album of all time, OST, which stands for Original Soundtrack. You got Sweet for Beaver, Hang Loose, Montego Slay.
Together, that's the part I got. That's your number. Together. That's what we need, right? We need to get to fucking together. You know what I'm saying? I talked to Donald Trump earlier today. I told him, I was like, man, you need to just chill, dude. Chill. You know what he said to me? He said, shit. Can you help me out with that? Oh, I say, you know that shit. It goes. What you think that would be? These motherfuckers gotta get over it. Come on, Jim. Let's go. It goes. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do it one more time. All together. Best year ever. Goddamn, I get off and go acid jail. I go shit. Goddamn, I get off and go acid jail. It's over there, over there, over there, over there, over here, y'all. It's over there, y'all. It's like that, shake it. Hey, yo, we just don't stop. It's like that, y'all. Hey, yo, we just don't stop. Hey, yo, let's take our times like a light lead time. We tryna get it up. We gotta feel up. Before the song gone, the song will be on. Till the beat stops, cause I'm not, no need to rewind. They go on the beat, go to the saying, I to the clear. And it goes, it's looking at you. Watching me, ready on every stage. Six, cause I like it. Still, when I'm taking it, they really wanna rap. They like the way I chill. I'm writing a couple of songs. I don't feel I'm a walk in the van. I lick it, then I split it, empty and out. I look in like a blank, and I'm out. Big fight, that's right. You must have to make a feel. But you and top rank, cheap. I'm on the wheels and still. I want this stuff on the left. It feels good with the me and the niggas. They come away. So they say, they gotta ride fast pace and I throw it away. People under the soul today. Cause sometimes it ain't time. Times it can't be. Times we sing time. The times be. Say you can play a lot. But you never gotta leave. And you never gotta leave. Everybody gotta leave. Say we got these beautiful brown skin ladies. They oversized.
But LA Song is definitely a highlight of the album. My all-time favorite song from People on the Stairs is Acid Raindrops. I remember I had that song in rotation all the time. I was doing a lot of DJing, doing various gigs like house parties, raves in Arizona. And we're talking about the straight desert parties, like out in the middle of nowhere, that started at like 10 p.m. and did not end until the sunrise. I remember all the road trips to go to these Arizona raves and just bumping Acid Raindrops all the time. And it brings back so many good memories. If I could describe what it's like to listen to Acid Raindrops, even today, it's kind of like being out in the dead of winter when it's super cold out and you finally get in like a heated vehicle, and when that heat finally hits you, how toasty warm it is, that's what it feels like to my eardrums whenever I hear Acid Raindrops. Acid Raindrops will always be classified as their stoner anthem, but to me, Acid Raindrops will always be just an anthem. I think Camel MC really set the tone for that record with just the opening bars right when the drums kick. Let's have a mid-city fiesta with your West LA connection. Hop inside the vehicle, start crossing intersections. We learning life's lessons as we blaze this herbal essence. A man but still a child, and I have so many questions. Double K's verse. I try to keep it stress-free, live every day at a time. Make sure the family's in place and let the music unwind.
Now that you get paid and you fucking forget about shit and you see those acid raindrops coming over and you know what you want to do? Yo, you roll that shit, you like that shit, you smoke that shit, everybody one time. Until the stress free, take every day at a time. We show my fingers in place, so let the music go on. I got to take charge like a major outlet. I ride around and go to chillin' in my LA Express. On every street corner, we get closer to having fun. Cause the bottles go to back, well, don't nobody carry guns, y'all. The drums do the banging, or we can give it like this, the boom, yo, we hanging. Under the blue sky, stay face with small, but Lucha Corey is with all the time that we run, pick it up. So from the first never go on. But like a dad in the ball game, never with a sun, Chuck D, y'all brother. We bugging overtime from the night to the line, from to the start time. It's the double best one in Arizona, but the ever. So we can shoot game like thugs on your sports shadow. They want to do rap, replace it with a digging cat. If they digging down to the road, should have known that. We're here for one day, and so we're made. So what's up, so what's up, so what's up, when the stress from my brain, just like acid rain. Every change is the only thing that makes the pain stop. Let the beat take over the soul. When the stress from my brain, just like acid rain. Let the beat take over the soul. Relax one time, you gotta run. And fucking Phoenix, give me one time, make it fucking double that I'm
times that I'm feeling lucky for the jackpot, a jackpot, filling my crates. Laid back, chilling and feeling the music relates. We all know what the one to the two, hanging with my crew. Beats sitting while we sitting down, drinking on some brew. Going to the afternoon and turning to the morning light. Funky tracks and niggas search, selling all night. Doing it right, I want my time to use to make it better. Yo, my crew banging the blocks, I'm fresh from a Beretta. Goes for the whole, I suppose. Honey, you gotta understand, hands up, those niggas leaving you. So by the time I get defeated, so I know my hands are being this physical genius. Grab cover by the post and pause with no hook. Arm without any gas, the motherfucking Phoenix was close. Still loose, keep the shit alive. Do something for your troops, consider right and bye-bye. Go and pause, double the dust, the eat stress. We got the hip-hop, have fun, God bless. With the stress from my brain, just like acid raindrops. Mary Jane is the only thing that let the week take over control. When it's stress from my brain, just like acid raindrops. Mary Jane is the only thing that makes a man stop. Let the week take over your soul. Get back, relax.
Funny story about the show is I was so pumped for it that I decided to unds a pair of Jordans. It was the 2011 retro of the Black Cement 3s. I don't know what I was thinking, but I remember at one point during the show when it got really hyped, some hipster chick was drinking some fruity drink. Someone had bumped into her and she dropped it right behind me. So she splattered this fruity drink all over my 3s. And I remember I didn't really notice how bad they were until I got home. They were stained so bad, they were sticky. It was a pain in the ass to clean.
Like this to this and the off to the on. From Phoenix, Flagstaff, and fucking Tucson. We don't want to be left behind. I said I love the Arizona shit. Blow your mind. Dude, we don't want to be left behind. 2016. Blow your mind. Yo, we don't want to be left behind. Arizona blows my mind. Yo, we don't want to be left behind. One time, Arizona in the mind. Like.
Even though I'll never see People Under the Stairs live again, hearing their music even today and revisiting their catalog, it's instant nostalgia. It just brings you back to that carefree part of my life. Back then was about partying, chilling with the homies, listening to music, making music. Shortly before OST dropped, I had picked up a MPC 2000 XL. I had been collecting records prior to this as a DJ, so at that time of my life, I was making beats non-stop on the MPC. So hearing any of the Ohm Years, People on the Stairs albums really takes me back to that part of my life. I'll never forget bumping People on the Stairs in the whip.
LA, it goes California, what? Oh, let me hear it, y'all. LA, where's it at, y'all? California, I'll bring it back, y'all. Yo, California, yo, who wants us? You making all shots in the west. Dude, I forgot my rhyme. Can you really do this shit? Can you really do this shit? I can do it. I'm gonna test you. Who wants us? We're making our shots in the west. Ready for keepers on the west. Way to wait to rest. It's on the top of the road. I ain't no race like this. It never stopped. Yo, come on, we created the shit. See what we're saying, yo, fuck. In the presence of this. Don't even come from us. And you're running your land. I work hard. Make it wrong. Can't lose that. It's what the juice is. I'll call you correct. We gonna lie, brothers. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Drop the slow. It ain't no roll for snow. It's something different. It's something we say in the backseat. Go the rock. I'll chill over rap.
So when I say that People on the Stairs will always have a special place in my heart, it really does. That music it's timeless, and it brings me back to some pretty simple, carefree days in my life where I probably had the most fun.